What's up, everyone? Aaron Nagler here for PackersNews.com, live on Facebook late Wednesday afternoon. Mike McCarthy has spoken, practice has come and gone, locker room availability has come and gone. Now, I'm here with you fine folks to talk to you, see what's on your mind as the Packers prepare to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bits of news today. Jameis Winston, the Buccaneers regular starter who has missed their last 3 games, will start Sunday in Lambeau Field after dealing with a shoulder injury. Joan, hello. Courtney, hello. Stacy, hi. How are you? Please, no bad news. I'll do the best I can. Good afternoon, Kevin. How are you? Matt, hello. Christopher. In your headphones, I am in your head. No, it's Andy from Great Britain. Hello. Good evening. Evening, Andrew. Alberto, great question. Is it an advantage that Winston is starting or no? I'll tell you what. I wouldn't call it an advantage. I do think the Packers are probably better off facing him rather than Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I know Fitzpatrick is obviously a journeyman who has well-documented issues turning the ball over. And it's not like he was playing lights-out football in his 3 starts for the Bucs. But he's a vet who has seen everything, and with the lack of pass rush the Packers have exhibited over the last 3 or 4 weeks, he would be able to operate in a pocket. Now with Jameis Winston, he's a little more athletic, a little more mobile, has a much stronger arm, but he probably would be or can be prone to a few more mistakes than even Fitzpatrick. So I wouldn't exactly call it an advantage. I do think Dom Capers could probably be a little bit more effective disguising things and throwing things at Winston that probably wouldn't confuse Fitzpatrick, that may Winston, but that's all X's and O's, drawing it on the whiteboard stuff. I mean, once he gets down on the field between the lines, we've seen Winston make a lot of throws and a lot of plays. Obviously, much will depend on who he has around them. One thing working in the Packers' favor is their offensive line is completely discombobulated. They put a bunch of people on IR, including Ali Marpet. Evan Dietrich Smith, former Packer, is dealing with a concussion, and their offensive line will be completely retooled for this game. Deshaun Jackson missed practice today for the Bucs. That's obviously a big blow for them if he can't go. The Packers have had issues with him in the past. So there are some things that could line up in the Packers' favor, but Winston, he's very talented, and for whatever struggles he's gone through, he's still dangerous and can still make plays for this Bucs team. Wayne, great question. What can the Packers do to generate a pass rush? I'm sure Dom Capers is asking himself that exact same thing. Obviously, not having Clay Matthews last week didn't help, but it's not like Clay has been lighting things on fire as far as being a consistent threat to the quarterback. Although he did have a sack in the game against the Ravens. Outside of dialing up lots of pressure, again, I think that's something that they may be able to do a bit more of against Jameis Winston. But even then, Dirk Cotter, their head coach and offensive play caller, he's seen it all. He knows what to expect. He knows Dom's defense, and he knows that more than likely they can't get home with 4. But I do think that's how they will start the game. I don't think they're going to come after Winston a lot. I think they'll try to see what kind of hay they can make against this makeshift offensive line of the Bucs. But if it continues that they can't get home, then maybe you'll see a ratcheting up of pressure calls, if you will. But this is something that goes back to this summer. Anybody who's been on Facebook Live with me for the year knows I've been talking about this ever since the draft. Basically, they faced a draft that was deep in pass rushing talent, and they didn't address pass rush until the 3rd day with Vince Biegel. And there are various reasons why they did that, and I understand why you can't draft everything, you can't fix every problem, but it's played out pretty much as we suspected this summer, where Dom Capers does not have a regular threat when it comes to winning one-on-ones in obvious passing situations. Nick Perry is a good football player, but he's not a dominant rusher. He can bulldoze kind of the lesser tackles in the league, but if he faces even a regular frontline tackle, he's shut down as a pass rusher more often than not. A lot of the times his pass rushing kind of numbers come from having coverage sacks and effort sacks, second wave kind of things. So this is kind of what we expected. Dom Capers has got to make it work. And as far as what they can do to generate more pass rush, my inclination, this is just me, would be to be more disruptive at the line of scrimmage with the routes, with the receivers. Because it's pretty clear from what we've seen over the last month that this team, the only way they can get to the quarterback is if they have the time to work to get to the quarterback. And with so many free releases and so many guys able to get into their routes freely, I just, the quarterback and the wide receivers, they work on timing in the NFL. Those pass routes, they match up. The quarterback's drop is usually, timed with the breaks of the wide receivers. And right now, those wide receivers are allowed to run unimpeded for the most part. Not always, but for the most part. So if I'm Capers, I tell my guys, look, I'm done allowing these guys to run all over the field. Jam them at the line of scrimmage. Now, yeah, you're gonna miss a few, they're gonna get off a few, but I'd much rather live and die by that than letting Ben Roethlisberger sit back there all night like they did Sunday night with time to kind of peruse his options, so to speak. That's just me. King Shoulder, better yet. Joan, great question. No, it doesn't sound like it. He missed practice today, did not participate. Now, we won't know until tomorrow morning when we get to talk to Mike again whether this is, erring on the high side of caution because they want to give him the week to heal up. Because he did obviously leave the game against the Steelers, but then came back with that shoulder. But even with that said, now this could be them absolutely kind of shutting him down, so to speak, until it's more manageable, which could mean, maybe possibly even misses this week. But like I said, we probably won't know anything more in that regard until tomorrow morning. Matt, great question. Do they shelf King? I don't think you do because he's so clearly far and away better than the other options that they have. If you're talking Devon House and let's say Josh Hawkins on the outside with Randall in the slot, as compared to Devon House and a banged up King outside and Demarius Randall in the slot, I don't think there's any question. You got to go with the banged up King. He's light years better than Hawkins at this point. Let's see. Aaron, you should be direct part of the coaching staff. Nobody wants that. Trust me. What's the depth chart now at running back? Peter, that's a great question. I just got done doing a video with Michael Cohen, who was at practice today. Check PackersNews.com for Michael's comments on Aaron Jones, Ty Montgomery, and Jamal Williams. I probably won't do it justice because it's murky, to say the least. But Michael does a good job of kind of laying it out for you. House isn't do much at all. Joan, I believe you said, hasn't done much at all. I believe that's what you mean. He's been up and down. I know people like to rag on House, and obviously he's gotten beat, and he's given up some plays, and I get all that. But there are plenty of plays where he has been competitive, and he has been disruptive, and he has stopped guys, and he's come down with a few interceptions. It's, is he a highline starter in the NFL? Absolutely not. Has he been up and down? Yes, he has. Has he been a liability? I wouldn't go that far. I think he is a veteran presence that they desperately needed, but I don't think he's given them what they expected at the position. I'll say that. Put Janis in for punt returner. Gail, that's been talked about, I know, a lot here online in the fan base. I don't think the Packers have ever seriously considered that. I mean, we know he was a kick returner for a while. He had way too many mental errors. He finally got pulled from that job. I don't see him as a punt returner. He's got straight line speed for days, but as a shifty kind of, make people miss in traffic, like you have to be at that position, I don't really see that as a strong suit. Of course, Davis, it's always an adventure with him back there. You never really know what's going to happen as far as his decision-making on when to field the ball or where to field it. But Davis is their guy. If they pulled Davis for anybody, it'd probably be Randall Cobb. Nick asks, are there coaches in jeopardy? It's possible. You got to let it play out, though. I mean, we'll see over the course of this last month here what happens, how the team looks. McCarthy's not going to do anything rash, and Ted Thompson's not going to make McCarthy do anything rash, and Mark Murphy is busy making sure Titletown District is running at full efficiency. So I don't see anything, the one guy, I think the one guy really under the microscope is Dom Capers. And Mike McCarthy has shown he is loyal to a fault. I still do believe that there's a good chance Capers swings at the end of the year, especially dependent on what happens with other coaching staffs around the league and who becomes available. But that, like I said, that all has to play out. Anthony, Badgers 12-0. I mean, big game Saturday night, right? Let's put it this way. The Badgers don't win on Saturday night. Doesn't mean much of anything then, does it? We'll see. Randall, will Mays get a shot at redemption? Now I have, Paul Simon going through my head. I doubt it. We'll see. I mean, that was a game on Sunday night that they needed to run the football, and they didn't give Mays one down on the field. I mean, he didn't touch the field. So we'll see. I tend to think at this point he's probably a breaking case of emergency only. But we'll see. If the Packers win out, what teams need to fall for them to make the playoffs? Alberto, Pete Doherty will have all of that for you in a column that will be up tonight. It may even be up right now. But I know it's going up overnight for tomorrow morning's paper. So check PackersNews.com because Pete addresses that exact question. Even if the Packers run the table, what help do they need? Check it out. Braden, is Rollins still on the roster? He is. He's on injured reserve. Well, he had that Achilles injury a couple weeks ago, about a month ago. Thoughts on Jennings announcing the game? And I think it's going to be great. It's like when Romo did a Cowboys game, or Troy Aikman does any Cowboys game. I'm interested to see what he says. Sorry about that. I'm really most interested in, obviously, when they're on the offensive side of the ball, hearing Jennings talk about McCarthy's offense and maybe adjustments at the line and things they may be saying in the huddle and the types of things they use to attack a defense. I mean, if he's anything like Romo, it'll be great to listen to. Adam, any defensive coordinator replacement options available? I've said for years I thought they should go after Rex Ryan. I doubt that'll happen, even now that he's is available. He's working in television. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Chicago. If John Fox and his crew get let go, that would mean Fangio is available. That's a guy who McCarthy may look at. I mean, I don't know what their connections are off the top of my head, but I got to imagine they've, other than just coaching against each other through years, I got to imagine they ran into each other once or twice. So that would be a name to watch out for. Vicky says, Jennings is no Romo. How do you know? Never heard him call a game. At least I haven't. Maybe you have. Would you pay Davante Adams? Peter, yes. I would absolutely pay Davante Adams. But it really depends on what Davante Adams wants to get paid. Gruden. Nick, they're not hiring Gruden. Stop. Should they not have put Aaron Rodgers on IR that ahead of schedule? That's the scuttlebutt. I know Clay Matthews talked about it in the locker room today. I also have heard kind of through the grapevine that Rodgers wasn't exactly thrilled at getting put on IR. So, I don't know. I mean, that's one of those things. I understood why they did it at the time. What information are you working off of? With the information at hand, yeah, I'm not surprised he was put on IR. But it does certainly look. I mean, I tell you what. Sunday night, when he took the field and started throwing the ball around, we all kind of looked at each other and went, what's going on? And then he unleashed like a 54-yarder, kind of his last throw of the night, with the zip on it and his shoulder. I mean, it looked great. And we were all kind of looking at each other like, what is going on? Now, it's one thing to look great throwing the football. He certainly looks like he's got his zip on the ball, his range of motion, etc. That's all well and good, but you also have to take a hit. And I'm pretty sure he's not ready to do that yet. I hope when Rodgers comes back next year, they still run the ball a lot. I think they will. Is it worth... who will start at right tackle next year? Peter, that's an excellent question. I think that's part of why they're forcing Jason Spriggs into the lineup now. I mean, we saw him start on Sunday night, and he held it pretty well. They kind of have to figure out what they got there. Because, look, they can't... This is a guy they traded up for in the second round 2 years ago. They got to know. If Brian Bulaga is slow to recover or is unable to recover, or even if Bulaga recovers fully, they have to know what they have there. And if they need to address, that position in the draft or free agency, what kind of depth are they looking at need-wise? They've got to know what they have in Spriggs, and the only way they're going to know that is by playing him. So while it was a surprise to see him in the lineup on Sunday night, especially we all kind of assumed McCray was going to get that spot, they put Spriggs in there, and he held up well. Now, he did a lot of, McCarthy even said he made mistakes, and that was expected. He's got to grow from them. He's got to grow throughout the rest of this last month. But this last month is a big month for Jason Spriggs and for the Packers in regards to what they want to do at that position going forward. Do you see a similar game as last Sunday for Hundley? Sounds suspiciously like a fantasy football question. I think the possibility is there. The one worry I have is the Buccaneers front is very physical and very active, and they could make life hard for Hundley on Sunday. Quick interior pressure obviously is kind of kryptonite for any quarterback. Hundley's no different. In fact, he drops his eyes quicker than most when that push happens in front of him. So that would be my one real concern. I mean, obviously there's also the history he has as far as his splits home and away. It's crazy how much better he has played so far away from Lambeau Field. He's got to turn that around starting on Sunday. Do you think Aaron Rodgers will play again this year? Michael, if the Packers keep winning, if they start winning, I should keep winning. They've won one game with Brett Hundley at quarterback. If they start winning, if they put a streak together, if they've won all their games leading up to the Carolina game, which is his first game eligible to return, I think there's a good possibility. Because then they'll be in the playoff race and they'll need to win, and if he's ready to go and he wants to go, he should go. But, that requires them to win. That requires them to win on Sunday, starting. So, it's 1 week. It is the ultimate 1 week at a time right now in Green Bay. The playoffs have begun for the Packers. Can you tell Hundley to stop dropping back so far? No. I mean, I could suggest it, but I'm sure he would look at me like I have three heads. Is Hundley done after this season? I don't think. He has one more year on his contract. And look, you've taken this guy through this last month and seen him grow. You've seen him progress. You don't want to jettison him now. Now he's kind of a viable backup. He's a guy with some NFL experience finally. And he's obviously going to get a few more games here, at least. And maybe the rest of the season if they're out of playoff contention. So you're going to bring him back for his last year and, his $400,000, whatever it is, salary. He's dirt cheap, he knows the offense, and he's got NFL experience. It's almost like a dream scenario as far as what you want in your backup quarterback. Have you seen Jordy? Haven't seen him in a while. I saw him on Sunday night stretching out like the grizzled veteran he is for an important first down on that 77-yard drive that tied the game. I mean, he may not be, putting up huge numbers. He may not be the security blanket he was when Rodgers was in there, but he's still doing important stuff. Is Ryan Fitzpatrick 47? No, I did hear that quote, though. He is not 47 years old. He did go to Harvard, though. Roster is strong when healthy. What are the biggest needs for next year, however? That's a good question, Grant. As for the biggest needs, I don't know if it's the biggest need. I think probably the biggest need is pass rusher. They need someone who can alter, not even games. They just need somebody who can alter offenses when given a one-on-one. Somebody they got to pay attention. Offense has got to pay attention to. Because right now, Packers don't have that. To me, that's the biggest need. Another big need is tight end. I mean, you think about how kind of backwards this whole Martellus Bennett drama kind of put them at that position. They went from having Jared Cook, who had a great rapport with 12, really productive, really opened up the offense, to, okay, we're gonna go get this guy for his blocking, and Martellus Bennett, we're gonna go get this guy, and Lance Kendricks for his receiving ability, blah, 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 blah. We're gonna keep Richard Rodgers because he's familiar with the offense, he has good hands, not a great blocker, but etc. Fine. So that was their plan, right, coming into the season. Now, one by one, Martellus Bennett has had his drama, and he's now not even with the team anymore. Lance Kendricks, thrust into the number one position, has been up and down, not very productive, a poor blocker. Richard Rodgers was targeted a bunch on Sunday night, had the one big catch, the one kind of pop pass over the middle, but he's not your starter, he's not your guy going forward. So what do you do at this position? I think the tight end for me is especially as important as it is in McCarthy's offense, and as much as he utilizes that position, I think they got to address it. And the other problem is if they address it in the draft, which they most likely will, it takes like a year or two for almost every rookie tight end to get up to speed in the NFL. So, yeah, that position is, I wouldn't say dire, but it's a problem. What do you think is causing so many missed opportunities for HaHa Clinton Dix? That is an excellent question. I talked about this earlier in the year. I made an audio recording of it, actually from one of these Facebook Lives. I put it up on Twitter. That was in October. And my opinion hasn't really changed in that regard. He had a really good stretch last year that got him voted to the Pro Bowl. And since he was announced as a Pro Bowl starter, his play has really declined. And I can't say what it is. I don't know. Only HaHa can answer that, because the Packers swear blind that he's healthy. He swears blind that he's healthy. But for whatever reason, he turns down tackles. He takes bad angles. He misses tackles even when he is there. It's been bad, man. I'm not going to say. We saw here in Green Bay for years after Nick Collins went down with injury 6 years ago. It was bad. The M.D. Jenningses of the world, that was a clown show. HaHa Clinton Dix is not that bad. He's nowhere near that bad. But at the level he was playing at last year, to see what he's doing now, it's striking. And I do buy that he's probably being asked to do too much. He's probably being asked to do things he's not comfortable with. He's probably not being used the way he should be because of injuries elsewhere and the things that they've had to adjust as far as so many guys in and out of the lineup in the secondary. But at the same time, that happens in every defense. Every NFL player has to deal with that. It's rare to kind of, imaginary that you get the idea that you're going to play with the same 10 guys down in and down out for a season. You've got to adjust. You've got to be able to take on new responsibilities. You've got to be able to do the things that the team needs you to do. So, man, and the thing is, I think he's a good football player. I really do. I just think he has hit a really bad stretch. I don't know if he's thinking too much. I don't know what's going on. But the Packers, they really need him to sort that out because they're going to have a decision to make. They gave him the fifth-year option. But after that, do they really want to invest money on a guy who's been, hit and miss is being kind? They really want to invest money in that? Long-term money? I don't know. Let's see. Warm there too in New York City? It was unseasonably warm today. Is Donald Driver a Hall of Famer? No. Packers Hall of Famer, yes. But a Pro Football Hall of Famer? Absolutely not. It's a little early, but are there any college players you've been eyeing? The only college player that really got me excited this year, and I don't watch a whole lot of college football, so this doesn't mean much, but the one guy really kind of piqued my interest, and I thought he was going to make a nice prospect, was Montgomery with Iowa State, the running back. He's a guy I would love to watch on Sundays. Adams, Cobb, Nelson, who can you keep since you can't afford all three? Good question. I tend to think most likely you'll see either Cobb and or Nelson asked to take a pay cut. And I definitely think they'll try to re-sign Adams. A lot's going to depend on Adams' desire to hit the free market. Maybe he's dead set on doing it. Maybe that year of everyone in the fan base telling him he should be cut because of his struggles, maybe he's like, you know what? I want to see what else is out there. And don't discount that for a second. You never know with guys. Sometimes that's what drives them. And I'm not saying that's Adams specifically or at all. I haven't talked to him about it, but that definitely happens. So I don't know. We'll see. It really depends. Matthews pay cut too. Mike, I definitely think they'll ask him to take one. I don't see how they can go into next year looking at his lack of production and conceivably say, yeah, we're going to pay you $15 million. I don't see it. And I know Thompson actually has a history of doing this. I think he paid KGB like $13 million one year, even though he had come up dry in the sack department the year prior. So there is precedent, and that is kind of Thompson's MO. It's like he's my guy, he's our guy. I'm gonna just kind of we've got the cap space. We're just gonna do it. But I can't imagine that Elliott Wolf, Alonzo Highsmith, Brian Gutekunst, all those guys are going to sit there and go, yeah, this is fine. I got to think somebody's going to step up to Ted and say, look, Clay's got to take a pay cut. Especially because of the fact that the Packers are in a position of strength because they can cut him without any cap ramifications. This is the first year where it's coming into the last year of Clay's deal. If they cut him next year, it doesn't do anything to their salary cap. There's no penalty. There's no dead money. So I just can't believe they don't ask Clay Matthews to take a pay cut this summer. Peter with the question of the night, do you think they'll ask Raji to take a pay cut? I thank you for the Raji question. That means it's time for me to go. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks so much for coming along, talking. I'm sorry if I missed your questions. They do go by really fast. But I can't believe there's like 300 people here. It blows my mind every time it happens. Thanks so much. Make sure you're checking out PackersNews.com for all the latest. We'll have everything from practice today. Obviously, throughout the week leading up to the Bucs game, make sure you're checking each and every day. PackersNews.com. Thanks a lot, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.